He knocked me over. I landed on the dog bowl.
This one's wife, Prince Andrew. It all started on a yacht. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. There are various allegations that have been made towards this one's wife. Various accusations about poor behaviour. Various rumours that have followed her for a number of years, some of which have been particularly persistent. You will be familiar with the suggestion that she glued a girl's eyes shut as part of a hazing incident that took place during her education. There's a suggestion that she's not been married twice, but she's actually been married 3 times, and that her first marriage was actually annulled. There's the further rumour that she had a child as a consequence of that marriage, a child that she has nothing to do with. There are, of course, the repeated suggestions and rumours that she doesn't actually have any children with Harry, that Archie and Lilibet are played by other people's children, or the alternative suggestion being that while she does have children, they were carried by a surrogate and she was never pregnant. One of the other rumours that's dogged in its application is the suggestion that this one's wife was a yacht girl. Essentially, this means that she carved out a living by attending yachts and providing company to rich men. There's some that suggest that was all it was, company, a hostess, if you will. There are others that suggest that it went further and that she was engaged in the provision of sexual favours. No cold hard evidence has been provided in relation to that, but there have been pictures of her on a yacht with other women. There has been supposed testimony from an individual that worked on a yacht, claiming that she was there and that she was there with Prince Andrew. There has been a tweet seen that was asking this one's wife about her availability to attend on a yacht. And therefore, this rumour has followed her around. It's also been suggested that she was familiar with Prince Andrew before meeting him when she met Harry, that she had a connection with him as a consequence of being a yacht girl for him, namely, that as a receipt of payment, she provided him with sexual favours. And I've mentioned in earlier parts the testimony from an individual which claims that she and Prince Andrew spent a number of days together on a yacht, frequently disappearing below decks. Prince Andrew has confirmed that his involvement with this one's wife on a yacht has been the bane of his life. He explained that he met this one's wife on a yacht, that they were on the high seas, and she was introduced to him. He said as follows: "I was on a yacht. It was a lovely day, the sun was shining, and I'd got my six-pack out. I was stood on deck, having an early cold beer, when the lady, who I now know to be this one's wife, approached me. I had a little bit of difficulty in understanding what she was saying to me, as she spoke with this weird vocal fry, and at one point would be quite breathy in what she was saying. I'm not sure if that was because she'd gone a few rounds with my good mate Pogo earlier on. The problem is that as a consequence of my fraternisation with this one's wife, she cursed me. Yes, she issued a gypsy curse. She came out with this long stream of words which I had no comprehension as to what they actually meant. I recognised the individual words, of course, but when she spoke them, there was no actual meaning behind them. They just all seemed to spill out of her mouth, tumbling, meaningless, disjointed, and it was then that I realised that something was very wrong about this woman. Indeed, it has only been as I have looked back years later that I realised that pivotal meeting between her and I, on a yacht, on the high seas, was the moment that she issued a gypsy curse towards me. There is no other explanation for the string of unintelligible words that she used. Because I now know that that was a gypsy curse, because after that, everything in my life went wrong. A young lady called Virginia Giuffre accused me of engaging in sex crimes with her, when we all know that didn't happen. My good friend Jeffrey was suddenly found to be a sex offender, and then he went and died just when I was trying to get some more money out of him. I stopped sweating. This gypsy curse meant that my brilliant interview with Emily Maitlis somehow was broadcast as a car crash. That's how spooky her abilities are. Further evidence of the fact that she cursed me that day when I met her on a yacht was the fact that my teddies would no longer be found in their preferred position on my bed, but instead they'd been scattered, as if some demonic force had been unleashed amongst them. Mr. Pookie was often found with his bottom in the air and stuffing strewn around my bedroom. Only a satanic dark force could have engaged in such behaviours. Fergie stopped showing me her freckly bangers. This was a daily joy to me, but as a consequence of the gypsy's curse that was uttered by this one's wife on that yacht, on the high seas, I no longer got to see her freckly bangers. Footage was then released showing me groping one of my daughters. My dad died. My mum died. My brother then became king, when we all know it should have been me. I'm far more interesting, much more fun, and I don't talk to plants. My brother has spent his time trying to kick me out of my accommodation, and I have had various patronages and titles taken away from me. I implore you, just look at this run of terrible circumstances. And the life of me, Prince Andrew, has been effectively ruined. I used to have a great laugh, running around, slapping women on the arse, taking bungs for supposed business introductions, hanging out with dodgy sheikhs, running out of nightclubs when I wasn't sweating, and life was wonderful. And then I had the misfortune, after doing lots of shagging, to turn my randy eye upon a chicken-legged woman from the United States. And thus, on that yacht, on the high seas, she cursed me that day. And ever since, everything in my life has turned to shit. Everything has gone wrong. Every opportunity that I once had has been taken away from me. And it's clearly not as a consequence of my own behaviours, but it's quite evident that the blame lies firmly at the door of this one's wife. I'm Prince Andrew. My life has been ruined, and it all started on a yacht with a gypsy's curse from this one's wife. Thus, compelling testimony, I'm sure you will agree, from Prince Andrew as to how it clearly is this one's wife's fault that his life has turned out so pants. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.